Hey, hey everybody. Hey Jack, good to see you. Come on in, come on in. It's an incredible day, one of the best, really. And today on Coffee with Scott Adams, we're going to have a good time, even if you're listening to this at 1.5 times speed. Well, you'll just get the goodness a little bit faster that way, won't you? But you're only going to get that in replay. I'm afraid I can't talk that fast in real time. But before we begin, what would make this extra special? I think you know. It's a simultaneous sip, and all you need is a cup or a mug or a glass, a tankard, chalice, a stein, a canteen, jug, or flask, a vessel of any kind. This is a problem. I can't reach my coffee cup because my microphone isn't long enough. This is a problem. All right, you're going to have to come with me. YouTube, stay where you are. Periscope, come with me. Come with me. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's the good stuff. Join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip. It happens now. Go. This Governor Cuomo story and the nursing homes deaths is just getting worse. Oh my God! You know, I've been telling you that as a standard of behavior, I didn't want to be the one who was tough on any of our leaders if they got anything wrong during the coronavirus. And I've been applying that to Cuomo, trying to be consistent and saying, yes, it's true that very bad things happened, but I feel like we would need to know the details of exactly what caused him to sign off on the decision to send 9,000 infected people back into the worst place they could be sent. I feel as if, it seems to me that I saw him saying in an interview that he was following federal guidelines at the time. Can somebody confirm that? Is that his actual explanation, that they were the federal guidelines and he just followed them? Give me a fact check on that. Anyway, the news I follow tends to consistently leave out whatever it is that Cuomo says as his response to why all these people died. All right? I'm looking in the comments. Yes, I'm seeing a yes. All right. Now, if you watch Fox News, they'll just never mention that. They will just never mention that according to Cuomo, and I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying according to Cuomo, that he has a pretty good explanation on paper, whether you buy it or not, but on paper, that's a pretty good explanation. Now, somebody says he had hospitalship and he had the Javits Center. That's true. But I put myself in his situation and I ask you this. Would you have sent infected people to those assets if you thought you didn't need to use them and you might be able to close them down and save a ton of money later? Now, it might be the federal government's money, but still, who wants to waste a bunch of money? So I put myself in this situation and I tell you this. I'm not positive I would have acted differently than Cuomo in that situation. Are you? Be honest. Are you positive that if you were in that situation, you would have acted differently? I'm not. I'm not positive of that, which is why I, have been soft on this topic. Because if you put me in that situation and I'm making a decision a minute because it's the pandemic, plus I'm still the governor, right? I've got a whole pandemic on top of my job, which is a full-time job. A million decisions. Somebody comes and says, what do we do with the seniors? The federal guideline says send them back to the nursing home. Just make sure that they're, separated or whatever. So you're making a million decisions. The federal government tells you what to do in this exact situation. And you know that they've looked into it. You're not supposed to be the expert. You're not the CDC. So the federal government says, send them back, and you're making a million decisions. And you go, yeah, here, send them back. And then you go on to your other million decisions. If you can tell me that you say you would not have done the same thing Cuomo did, and I don't know if I'm describing it correctly, right? So I'm seeing a little pushback. I might not be describing the situation correctly. But my point is, if you weren't there, I don't think you know what happened. And that's why I'm still putting a little bit of reservation on a complete blame of Cuomo for a bad decision that killed thousands of people who didn't need to die. But the story got way worse. Way worse. I reached the limit of where I can give somebody the benefit of a doubt. Yeah, I see it in the comments. Apparently, his staff, and he must have known about it, lied to cover up the number of deaths. And they lied because it would look bad if they said the real number. And they've admitted that. That's now in fact that they lied about the number because they didn't want it to look so bad. That's grounds for removal from office. All right? There is nothing I can say to soften that. All right? I mean, I've been pretty generous, wouldn't you say? I'm trying to apply the same standard that I applied to Trump and any other leader, trying to apply the same standard to Cuomo, trying to be fair. But when I heard that they lied about the number of deaths, and it looks reliably like that's true, you always have to be careful. We're still in the fog of war. It's a new story. Might not be true, but it looks true. That's unforgivable. That's a crime, isn't it? I mean, I think it's a crime. That's unforgivable. So if it turns out that the facts are correct, I don't think Cuomo can remain in office. I just don't see how that's possible. I mean, he might remain in office, but I don't see how that could make sense for the public. Join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, and it happens now. Go.